So this is my final project for the technology course, spring 2022. Just a little background. I wanted to focus on speech and language technology tools. This school year, as a whole preschool program where I work, we encountered a big problem. Many new preschool students this year had a spectrum of speech delays. We had to support the students somehow, and technology was one answer. One of the lessons that I taught with technology. So for part one, I used Articulation Game by Virtual Speech Center. And just a brief overview, it's an articulation focus. It's a structured game, focused on skills. It collects data. It's only in English, and you can only use it on a tablet or a smartphone. So Articulation Games by Virtual Speech Center is a free app. It was fun for my students to practice articulation, sounds, vocabulary, and language. My ELL students were able to benefit from using these tools. They would play a game, and it was fun for them, and they thought it was just a game, but they were practicing important speech and language skills. And I enjoyed using Articulation Game myself because it has an essential tool that it provides data collection. It was fun for the kids to play, but I love that it showed me the actual data. A child is repeating a sound, and I can keep score right on the app, and I can then progress monitor each student. Each student has a profile and a specific skill that they're working on, and the data is easily readable to help me quickly identify if the student is improving or not. The students have a variety of choices. So for example, you can start. You have flashcards, memory game, Artic wheel, sweet spinner. So for example, I can select flashcard, select a student, next the sound, and then I can select if I want to work on the word, a phrase, or a sentence, and if I want to focus on that sound in the initial or the middle or the final ending. The placement of the sound. So for example, cube, and if the student said it correctly, I would give them a check for correct. And if I want to do initial, like B, for example, if they said it correctly, I would give them a check mark. If they did not, if it was unclear, I would give them a equal sign. And if they said it incorrectly, again, or another word, you would give them X for incorrect. And then when they can also record, up here they can record themselves and then listen to themselves saying the sound. It also repeats the word for you. And then when you're done, click finish, and then you can see that student's data. Today's date, the student, what skill we were focusing on, and then the percentage. So that's very good information. And then you can email the information to their teacher or to their parents. A lot of the kids like playing the sweet spinner. So for example, I can select the next student and the sound. So for example, they have to, they have to spin, push down the hand or tap it, and then they get a word, bat. If they get it correct, check mark. If not, the same thing as the previous. And again, we can work on different placement of the sound. So the students have a variety of choices to play. For example, we can, like you saw, we can play flashcards, matching game. The tool that they like the most is recording themselves and listening to themselves say the words. The only thing that I would change is the accessibility. I would like to use it on a desktop, and it's only accessible on an iPad or iPhone. I broadcast my lessons via the smartboard because I like practicing the skills in a large group first, and then a small group, and then I can work one-on-one with them after we practice. So it's definitely a one-on-one tool that you need time to practice with each student. Articulation Games helps develop the WIDA ELD Standard 1, where language is used for social and instructional purposes. English language learners communicate for social and instructional purposes within the school setting. So students are improving their articulation skills to communicate more effectively in school and with their peers and their teachers. And part two, students using technology. So for this part, I use the website Ultimate Speech. And just a brief overview, it has all kinds of games. You can use it with the whole group, small group, or one-on-one. It's focused on language and articulation. And you can use it on your desktop, iPad, smartphone, or also the smartboard. So Ultimate Speech was also another tool that I learned to use. It has tons of pre-made games, boards, pictures, picture hunts, vocabulary, flashcards, interactive games like feeding the dinosaur that I use for this lesson. And you can practice different skills with the same game, which I really like. So it's not like a different game for every skill. All you have to do is choose the target skill, change the target skill, or change the focus. For example, I wanted to practice the initial D sound, and that's what we were working on at the initial of the word, at the beginning of the word. So you can see this is the website for Ultimate. It's called Ultimate LSLP, and this is the materials library. You have tons of games to choose from, as you can see, and lots of different topics. And for example, you can also use the search look under search. Like for example, I was looking for dinosaurs because that was our theme. And they have two games. So they have a board game that I did with the students, and then I also used the Dino, and we did an interactive game with that. You also have access to printed or paper material that you can send home with the students after you play the game. So this is us playing the game.
Let's see. Woo! We got a new word. It's a door. Good job. Door begins with what sound? Do you think he'll eat the door? No! Let's find out. Ready? Feed me the door, please. Good job. I like how you're using a sentence. The door starts He didn't like it. Dog. Dog begins with what sound?
So in that lesson, we were feeding the dinosaur, which went along with our dinosaur unit. The students were practicing the D sound in English and Spanish. In the game, we had to feed the dinosaur ice cream and words with the initial D sound, which the dinosaur did not like. We were also practicing following directions, speaking in complete sentences in English, especially for our ELL students. This game helped my ELL students interact, talk in complete sentences, and learn new vocabulary in the group setting. My ELL students were also highly engaged and were practicing in a fun and safe manner. So then we did the game, the board game that you saw up here, dinosaur board game with, you can also do it and practice the D sound along with the board game. But for this game, I only wanted my students to practice counting in Spanish. So identifying numbers 1 through 6, following directions, taking turns. So we played this on the smart board, but with a small group of students. The Ultimate Speech can also be used on the desktop or iPad. I was able to display it on the smartboard, so the game board was like much larger, as you saw in the video, and it's easier to view for all the students and easier for the students to use once we were playing the board game. One challenge that I did find was that it was hard to move the individual pieces. Even for me, the response lagged a little, but the kids still had fun and they practiced their Spanish skills. They don't have Spanish games, or they don't focus on Spanish sounds, which would be another great resource to have. It also does not keep track of students' progress or any type of data on the students. But this is the students playing the game.
Okay, dale vuelta. ¿Qué número?
5.
No es 5. Vamos a contar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. ¿Ok? So mueve el dinosaurio. No, este dinosaurio acá. Acá. Ok, muévelo al 1.
1, 2, 2. Watch out for the wood. Watch out for the wood. No, it's not. It's actually breakfast.
Está bien, 6. Muy bien, señorita Serenity.
And part 3 is my teacher observation. I observed a teacher. She's my speech pathologist that works closely with my students in the classroom, and she loves to use GoGoSpeech.com, which is a website. And just a brief overview, it's a wordless digital story format. It's fun and engaging. It's open-ended. You can use it on your desktop, on your iPad, your smartphone, and you can use it as a whole group, small group, or one-on-one. So the teacher that I observed, like I said, was my speech pathologist. GoGo Speech is unique in that it uses illustrations to tell a story. It helps students get them engaged and interact with the story and produce language. It's terrific and enticing for the children. They are so excited when they have to participate and with GoGo Speech. They're excited to see what will happen next and the next page. So teachers can display it on the green screen for remote learning or as a PowerPoint for the smartboard, desktop, or iPad. So GoGo Speech supports comprehension skills. My EL students can make predictions and inference and practice comprehension while learning and practicing vocabulary and language. Again, my EL students are learning in a fun and a safe and super exciting environment while practicing their English skills with a lowered affective filter. What I like about GoGo Speech is that students are the authors. They have a voice. The teacher simply facilitates. The story is not written, so they have all these options, different themes. The story is not written yet. The students create it, and they have fun while doing it. Even my shy EL students get excited and want to participate. They want to talk. They want to share something, so that makes it really, really cool to see. And the students are on the edge of their seats, literally. I also like that they have printable materials. So, for example, you can view the unicorn one. You can download the images, print the mini books, print the story, and then they have the PowerPoint that you will use with your class. So they can take this home, and it accompanies the story that you are working on, and they can take it home and share with their parents and continue to practice the language.
It is a ladybug. How can you tell?
That's the black spot.
It has black spots, can ladybug. It is a ladybug. How can you tell?
That's the black spot.
It has black spots. Can ladybugs fly?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. What should we do? Okay, everyone, get your net. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Where does it go?
In the box.
Okay.
And the last part is the technology tool review. And for this tool, I chose Toca Boca. It's another tool on an app. It's an app that the speech pathologists use. A brief overview is very interactive and fun. The kids develop play schemes with lots of different options. You do have to purchase each option, like each play scheme. There's lots of options and scenarios to choose from. It's really one-on-one tool, maybe two friends. Very open-ended. Again, you can use it in any language, and you can only use it on a tablet or smartphone. So like I said earlier, there's lots of different options. So this app has a lot of variety of open-ended play scenarios to elicit language from the students. Again, it's the child creating the language and practicing, not the teacher asking the child to repeat or practice something specific. There are many words for the children to practice, and like many scenarios, like tea party, Toca City, Toca hair salon. They're really taking on role-playing and creating a play scheme. So for example, here's the monster. Okay, and it has sounds. I just can't play it for you. So it's eating something, it wants to eat a spaghetti, does it like it, does it not like it,